Hello, this is Erin Spence of the Dispensary YouTube channel. I completely missed my 2-month on microdosing testosterone update video. So this is we're almost at 3 months check-in. So I'm just going to go through and do kind of like a physical, mental, emotional, whatever check-in about the sort of shifts I have seen thus far. Again, I'm still on the dosage of 2.5 grams of testosterone 1% gel. A little ketchup packet of goo that I put on my belly every day. Yeah, so we'll start with body hair. Chin hairs. Chin hairs are coming in. I just have like 10 scraggly little chin hairs that are growing. And my belly. Like I always have, I'm a pretty robustly haired person in general, and my belly, all the little sort of like light golden hairs on my belly. A cat just decided to pat me on the shoulder. All the little like very light hairs that were all across my belly have gotten just like a little darker, a little longer. Yeah, it's happening. I can't really tell other places. I haven't really paid close enough attention. Most other locations, it hasn't been as noticeable. So, possibly a little bottom growth happening. I still have been, my libido hasn't like significantly increased. But I would say like maybe like the baseline is a little bit up from where it was. Where it was like completely gone because I have a hormone imbalance, which is a separate thing. But now it's sort of like kind of sometimes there. the new normal. Bottom growth, just maybe a little. Nothing significantly different about that experience. So the first month I was on testosterone, my period came like 6 days early, like a week early, basically. And that's pretty rare for me. I'm pretty regular, and so that happened. And then the next month, my period was like 2 weeks late. And so yeah, I was worried it wasn't gonna come because it's like I need to go get some lab tests done to continue on my hormone imbalance and health seeking journey there. And so I'm supposed to go get this test on like day 19 to 22 of my cycle, and it was just like for 2 weeks just like, am I gonna have a cycle again? I don't know, but I did. So anyway, we'll see if I have a third next month. Let's see. Maybe I should make notes and write things down, what I'm going to say. Oh, crying, emotional stuff. So historically, like, crying hasn't always been something that I was great at being able to access. Like, I kind of, as a child, like, there was a whole decade of my youth when I didn't cry at all. That decade included, like, all of high school. So for a long time, I was very good at just suppressing negative emotions and not letting them squeeze out of my eyeballs in any way. So then like several years back, I had like a grief practice where I was like, I'm going to learn how to cry. I'm going to learn how to actually have a functional grief process. And so for a while I had like a daily cry session. This was probably like mid lockdown or something, where I was just like working from home, and like every morning I'm going to start by sitting down with myself and, I don't know, like singing sad songs to myself until I cry. And yeah, and then a few months before starting testosterone, like right before I left Seattle and came out here to the boonies, I I had some, I got really good at crying. Like wherever my emotions were at, I think it was like maybe before I got this hormone imbalance, the estrogen dominance that I'm dealing with, diagnosed. I was just got very good at crying anytime, all the time, lots of crying. But now it's like it's not happening so frequently. It's kind of like since starting testosterone, even like a couple months before the testosterone, I'd had kind of a dry spell. And like only what once every couple weeks or once a month or something. And so since starting testosterone, I think I've really only cried once in the almost 3 months. Like it was a little bit after the first month of being on testosterone was the last time I had a nice little weeping session. So part of me is I'm sure I'll I'm sure I still have the capacity for crying. I just sort of yeah, again, it's at the place where I'm not thinking that this is necessarily a trend that I'm like, the crying's all like much harder to do now or it's gone. Um I'm I just feel like I'm still in the wait and see place, but it has not happened much thus far, which is too bad because it's quite refreshing sometimes. Um let's see. Not a whole lot of other uh things that I can tell. Um, like hairline. Oh, acne. Yeah. I think that like face, like my forehead, chin, chest, back have all, I think, experienced like an uptick of breakouts that I would attribute to testosterone. That I don't have to attribute it to like my stress levels or my diet or sleep habits or any of the many other things that might be out of whack. Um, yeah, and I've um, really tried to rein in the skin picking tendencies because that could that can get pretty wild pretty fast. Um, that might be about it. Oh, voice. So I never did like a baseline voice test, like recording a song or something where I struggle with the low notes. Um, I can still do that. I'm only almost 3 months in. Uh, but I think that maybe, and it's like my ability to hit low notes fluctuates anyway, right? Based on, yeah, voices fluctuate a little bit anyway, based on like environmental conditions and stuff. But I do feel like I am able to hit more low notes more consistently when I'm just singing to myself. Um, it's fun. Like of the things that I might have wanted physically or like externally um, out of out of this transition, I think that having a deeper voice is one that just did appeal to me. I didn't have a lot of goals because this wasn't the transition feels like more intuitively driven and not as much driven by like I can point to like I have this body dysphoria thing that I want to change. Um, yeah, so it's like I didn't have any dysphoria about my voice or anything, but since I was a little kid, I've wanted like a Michael Clark Duncan deep voice. Um, I don't know if we'll get there, but ooh, yeah. Yeah, I think that having a deep voice, it just feels good. It just feels good when it rumbles in your chest. It's really just like the vibrational therapy of my own voice that I'm after. Um, so maybe that's going. And the if any change has happened, it hasn't been heralded to, as far as I can notice, by like pain. which I know has been some people's experience, but you can't, nothing's universal with this. Bottom growth was another thing that I had heard some folks say in their experience was sometimes heralded by like just some growing pains, and maybe that's going on. But the other separate health video I need to make is about my journey with like an infection from ureaplasma in my urinary tract, urethra. But so it's like I've been dealing with chronic pain in that general vicinity for quite a while. And so it's like if there is ever kind of like discomfort in that area, yeah, I'm not sure if it's just like lingering nerve weirdness in that area, or maybe it's growing pains. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but it's not like pain happening there. It's just like vaguely uncomfortable sensations asking for my attention at odd times through the course of the day. Okay, I think that might be it. Oh, muscles. Okay. I think while I have not like bulked up in any way, I would say that some of the contours of my muscles appear to be shifting just slightly. Specifically, the one that's most noticeable is my bicep. Oh, I didn't think to stand somewhere where you could see it. It's where I could show you my bicep. Okay, it's just like a little bit lumpy bumpier. Oh, I should have. Pew, pew, pew. Can I do it without getting up? I'm just holding my phone between my knees, which is why it wiggles all the time. Yeah, no, this is not happening. But it's like instead of my bicep just having like kind of a single smooth curvature, like what is like a dromedary camel, there's sort of like two lumps now. It's like Bactrian camel biceps. But still like the smallest, most noodly of arms, just like a little bit slightly different contoured. So I mean, but that little second lump must have come from somewhere, so that technically might be growth of muscles. Also my butt might have like maybe a little bit of butt muscle has like kind of changed the contour of my butt from slightly less pancakey to like slightly more up. But I think that's probably about it. So yeah, I'm still pleased to be continuing. It feels weird, but it feels comforting that it's happening. And it feels like an adventure. I mean, come on. And also is this not, okay, we're going to get sort of woo for a second, because think about how proud of me my ancestors are, right? Like my transcestors, all my ancestors, that I'm likely the first, I'm the only out queer in fully my whole family, like my dad's side of the family, my mom's side of the family. And these are not small family groupings. My dad's side is all Mormons and ex-Mormons. And my mom's side is Irish, Italian, Catholics. And so there's lots of folks, and I'm the only out queer. And if you crunch the numbers, I am not the only actual queer, just the only one that's out. But just think about how the fact that I'm getting to transition and even to make hormones a part of that journey, and getting to explore and live my life in this way, I might be the first of my ancestors to get to do that. Think about, and that I'm not the first trans person in my entire lineage. And so it's just, yeah, it's just feels good to think about, like, talk about, like, like bringing cycles to a close, or like the kind of the trauma of like lifelong closetedness that I know that people in the past in my ancestry likely had to go to, is like I'm getting to kind of like smash that that cycle of trauma, that sort of, yeah. So that's pretty great. My ancestors are all extremely proud of me, even if they're like in my day. Yeah. So um that's all for now. Boop boop boop. Yeah. 16 minutes. We're done. Bye.